Come on, everybody, it's Gibbon time!
We begin with rocks being turned into clothes, part of Twilight's magical training for when she really needs a tuxedo. Pinkie then shoves her butt in Twilight's face and a frog falls from out of the air.
You okay, Twilight Sparkle?
You know, Fluttershy never picked up that frog. It fell out of her cart with all its frog family and friends and she just flies away. Fluttershy, you ain't gonna come back? Don't you care? What if this frog dies because it can't find a suitable habitat? Also, how's that cart float? Pinkie comes back with a twitchy tail. Yeah, that's pretty much the face I'd make if someone had a vibrating ass that told the future. So Pinkie makes another prediction that something will fall, and Twilight still doesn't buy it.
Oh, Pinkie, please. Nothing else is gonna fly! Oh no!
Aragorn.
Fell!
Applejack arrives and gets spooked at the mention of the twitchy tail and confirms that this sort of stuff has happened in the past and is common knowledge among the townsfolk. What I want to know is what happens to Pinkie when it rains. Is it just a non-stop twitch? You know what I want to see? A non-stop twitch stream. Hey, you know what I mean? Because it's like a joke because it's got two meanings. So Twilight gets muddy, takes a bath, and still doesn't believe that Pinkie senses anything other than a coincidence.
You do magic? What's the difference?
Well, the obvious difference is that one is a conscious act, a specific action that is caused by the user, and a Pinkie sense is more of a reaction to something. But besides that, they're both totally the same thing. Magic bullshit. Shit happens and they're in Twilight's laboratory, where Twilight is conducting a series of tests to determine if Pinkie's vibrating ass that tells the future is legit. They wait, and nothing's happening. Twilight, maybe you should do something to maybe trigger one of these twitches. Get a ladder and a hat. Go up the ladder with the hat, and then turn the hat into a rock, and then let it fall. And if Pinkie has a twitch before that happens, then there's some evidence for you. I mean, you're a scientist. You know how to conduct an experiment. Don't you?
I don't control it. They just come and go. That makes no sense.
Actually, it makes perfect sense. They come and go, depending on whether there's something happening. Nothing's happening, therefore no twitch.
I don't need to understand it. I don't even care.
That's the spirit. Then she goes on a big old investigation, stalking Pinkie with the intention of gleaning, what? She wants to prove that the Pinkie sense is fake, which means she needs evidence to show that the Pinkie sense is just a coincidence. But passively watching her, as she's doing, isn't going to prove that. If something happens, and Pinkie twitches, then it may be coincidence, or it may have been, in fact, the Pinkie sense. Also, I forgot my line. But it looks like she's waiting for Pinkie to contradict herself with her twitches. But even if that happened and she did contradict herself, that would only prove that Pinkie's senses aren't always accurate. It doesn't prove that they always are coincidences. Ah, this is confusing. I don't need to understand. I don't even care.
That's the spirit.
Then Twilight died. Now I know this is just a joke, but what the hell is going on up here? For starters, who is ordering a piano, a cart, an anvil, and a potted plant at the same time? But more importantly, how did they fall out? Why did they open the back of the truck in the air? Why didn't they wait until they had landed? How could you have fucked this up, Derpy? What did you do? Also, how is that truck float? So Pinkie apparently knew that she was being followed all along, rendering Twilight's useless data to be even uselesser. Pinkie then has a doozy of a twitch and somehow knows that something big is going to happen at Froggy Bottom Bog. Not sure exactly how she can tell that it's going to happen at Froggy Bottom Bog, seeing as this kind of a twitch has never happened before. But whatever. Everyone rushes off to Froggy Bottom Bog to see what will happen, and Twilight follows, making a miraculous recovery between shots. Then they kinda talk about Fluttershy exploding. I kinda like the dumb little conversations like this. It makes them appear stupid. Like me. And then a Hydra appear. Spike tries to see if Twilight has a spell to save the day. She doesn't. How about a hat? Maybe if you had a hat you could turn it into a rock, and then knock them out. But they have 4 heads. We don't have 4 hats. At all, we don't have them. Ah, shit! Damn it! You know, this whole Hydra sequence is really great. It's been a while since I've properly watched Season 1. I kind of forgot how good it was.
You have to take a leap of faith!
Oh, sure, spell it right out, why don't you? She makes the leap, and it turns out the Hydra wasn't the doozy after all. Now, talk about unexplainable phenomena, what the hell was that fire? I didn't hear no magic horn twinkle.
I don't understand how, why, or what. But Pinkie's sense somehow makes sense.
You know what doesn't make sense? What you're saying right now. You just found out that the doozy wasn't the Hydra, and that didn't make sense to you. So why now do you say it makes sense? You were just talking about how Pinkie predicted the Hydra and were possibly about to accept Pinkie's sense as true anyway. Why do you accept it now that it makes less sense? I know why. It's because you're tired of this shit not making sense. Yeah, I know how you feel. So it turns out the doozy was Twilight accepting that something could be true even though there's no scientific explanation for it. Even though there probably would have been if you had done the science properly. And then she wears a silly hat, and that's the end.
Twitchy tail? Holy guacamole!
What the fuck are you doing here, princess? You got nothing better to do today? You're just gonna land at speed on my balcony, probably cause some fractures. I'm gonna have to get a guy in to fix that. Look at it, it's all tilted. And then you're not even gonna stop and say hello? Get the fuck out of here. The moral of the story is that if you have a friend who has a vibrating ass, you should probably accept that they can tell the future. Now this is the first time I'm going to be doing a rating scale for these pony reviews, so forgive me if it doesn't really click at first. It's kind of an unusual one. But it's a good one. To put it in simple terms, on the scale of hi to good evening, I rate this episode hello. Goodbye. My little penis, feeling Pinkie penis keenness.